Hey YouTube, it's Jen here with Color Sense with Jen, and this is week 2 of my brand new digital Wacom tablet drawing series. Last week I did a video on doing some research and me actually buying my very first drawing tablet, and I'll link to the video right up here somewhere, and you go and check that out and get a little bit of background for why I chose the tablet that I did. So this week I'm doing some very preliminary drawings, very first dabbling ever with digital drawing. So check it out and see what you think. See if it's something maybe you're interested in, or if you're already a pro, give me some comments down in the section below on how I can improve. And I'm also new to Photoshop and still figuring out this photo editing thing, so give me a little bit of grace on this video. It's maybe a little bit rough around the edges. So the very first thing I did was pop that Intuos CD into my computer in the CD drive, and the computer pops up and prompts me to do some setup. So it asks you things like, are you right-handed or are you left-handed? What language do you write and speak in? And what does your handwriting style look like? So I set those functions up, and then I went to photopea.com, which is pretty much just like Photoshop, except it's a web-based program. So that's what I'm coloring on today, and just doing a whole bunch of doodling and figuring out this whole sensitivity to drawing pad ratio thing. As I prefaced in the opening of this video, I am no Photoshop professional. I am very novice, just starting out, and I can tell you that Photoshop has a lot of cool tools, but in this video I'm just playing around with a very few initial ones that most people are familiar with, like the paint tool or the brush tool or pen tool. So similar to paint programs or any similar photo editing or drawing program on the computer, you have a lot of the basics, like you can draw shapes, you can pick different colors, you can move them, rotate them. So I don't go a whole lot beyond that today. And what I'm doing right here is kind of testing out the sensitivity of the new pad. So it senses how much pressure you're applying to the surface of the tablet. So when you just glide very lightly across the surface, it doesn't make a very heavy line weight. And then as you increase your pressure, it increases the line weight and the heaviness and the thickness of that stroke. Oh my goodness, these buttons on the side of the pen are going to drive me crazy. So I keep pushing them on accident as I'm drawing. I know there's short keys or hotkeys to program, so you can have really quick access to certain commands, but I'm not used to them yet, and I haven't programmed them yet, and they just keep popping up this menu, and it keeps aggravating me. Right off the bat, one of the very first things I noticed is that the relative spatiality is different than I'm used to, because I'm used to using the little tablet, the little pad on my laptop as a mouse that you drag your finger across, and you use it as a pointer or a mouse. And it's really sensitive, and even if you move your finger like an inch, your mouse can go clear across the screen. So it's not really to scale, if that makes any sense. So the tablet is more realistic in that if you're wanting to draw a long stroke, say across the piece of paper, you're actually going to have to draw a long stroke across the tablet. Here is a really good example of that line weight and pressure sensitivity that I was mentioning. So as I lightly press on the tablet, very little color saturation comes out, and then as I increase the pressure on the tablet, it increases that hue and the saturation of the color. I'm really excited to get some feedback from you guys. If you are adult coloring book artists, I would love to hear from you, hear some of your experiences, how you did your drawing, if you were a beginner at digital drawing, the journey that you took to publish your coloring book. If you're artists, let me know what you like to color, what you enjoy the most, what you dislike, and any tips for an artist who is just starting out. I want to soak up as much information as possible. There is so much information and experience out there with the internet and with learning from other artists in person. It's amazing what resources we have available this day and age. I'm going to start this doodle of an eyeball with a couple different layers and a couple different brush strokes, so I can kind of give you a little bit of an example of what the layers in Photoshop can do. I have really become appreciative of the functionality of layers in drawing programs. At first, when I started Photoshop, it just confused me to no end. I'm like, what the heck is this good for? It's just messing me up. But now, even though I'm still learning, I can definitely tell the functionality and the user friendliness of being able to switch on and off a layer, be able to add a new layer and then do some coloring like I'm doing here with this eyeball. I'm kind of playing around with some different colors, some different line work and brushes. And then if I decide I don't like it, I can just erase it like that, or just get rid of it, delete the whole layer completely if it's something I don't like, and then keep the structure and the good bones underneath on a layer below. So if you're just starting out like I am and you're confused with the layers, don't give up and keep at it. They are definitely a good thing. Even though they might be a little bit confusing in the beginning, you'll get it. Just going to take a second to remind you, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. And if you love my channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified every week. Thanks so much, guys, for hanging out with me today and dropping by Color Sense with Jen. Don't forget to drop by next week for part 3. And as always, come on back for all the color you can handle.